What just happened? Did I just sprout wings? I just sprouted wings!
It's finally happened! Hey Everypony, I'm back, and I just finished watching Molt Down. I just want to say, this episode brought me so much joy! Not only because Spike finally got his wings. It wasn't a bad episode either. I knew this had to happen. Whether you like it or not, everybody grows up. And with Spike, well...
No. The last time I grew up, I turned into a giant greedy monster. Twilight already asked me to leave the castle today. If she kicks me out, where am I gonna live? I'm too young to grow up.
Yeah, the idea isn't really sitting well with him. Which is why the moral of this episode is actually how to deal with growing up and the changes that go along with it. Whether it be physical or life changes. I don't want to give all my thoughts out at once. So let's just start from the beginning. So the episode starts off with Rarity and Spike heading to the Phoenix Nests to collect some feathers for another one of Rarity's dresses. Alright, I'm gonna be honest, this is becoming a bit redundant. It's like every time Spike and Rarity start off an episode, like Gauntlet of Fire in Season 6, or way back in Season 1, A Dog and a Pony Show, Spike is helping Rarity in some way with one of her dresses. Look, I understand that the writers want to show that Spike will do anything for Rarity because he cares about her and he has feelings for her. But after 8 seasons, I think it's pretty obvious. Something that's brought up though, which I really liked, was that Spike mentions Pee-wee, the baby phoenix that he rescued in Dragon Quest way back in Season 2. This personally makes me happy. It clears up the suspicions on where and why we haven't seen Pee-wee since Season 2. I was worried that the writers forgot about Pee-wee and only used him to push the story along. Why would they do that to an adorable little bird like Pee-wee?
Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
Continuing on though, Rarity notices that Spike is having some discomfort due to something called stone scales, which is basically pimples for dragons. I know they're disgusting, but we've all had pimples once in our lifetime. Rarity tells Spike he should go visit Zecora for some cream. But Rarity says something that I think is really interesting.
Just don't get the shampoo.
This isn't the only time within the episode that references older episodes. Rarity investigates Secret to My Access, and others make small mentions into this episode as well. It's nice continuity, and I absolutely love it. It helps show character development with every pony and every creature we've encountered in the series. In this case, we're watching Spike's character development. Speaking of Spike, and more specifically his dragon pimples again, I pretty much assumed he was going through puberty. Again, I knew this had to happen sooner or later, since Spike has been a baby dragon for 8 seasons now. My suspicions were confirmed when Smolder started to explain the Molt effect. This included itchy scales, uncontrollable voice volume, fire, fire burps, and a smell that Pinky describes as
Brussels sprouts covered in cotton candy.
well, put that on my list for something to do later. Air out the place. But speaking of the smell, in dragon culture, the parents would kick their young out once they started showing signs of the molt. But oddly in turn, know that the smell is a beacon to predators such as the roc, which is basically a huge bird that hunts down molting dragons to consume? And they're okay with that?
Mr. Early Bird! How about a nice tasty worm on a stick? I'm going to snap.
Dang, writers, way to make dragon culture darker than we intended. But in a way, It brings symbolism. Sometimes the parents know what's best for their children. And sometimes the only way to help is to kick them into the real world. When they let their kids fend for themselves in a situation, it may be the only way for them to see that, hey, I need to take charge. Or hey, I need to mature and ask for help. Don't get me wrong, our parents will always be there for us when we need them. Whether it be struggling through puberty, or in my case, starting an important chapter of your life. I recently just graduated with my associates, and now I'm transferring to a university this fall to complete my bachelor's. It's a huge step for me because it'll be my first time being out on my own. Like Spike, I'm nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. But what I do know is that we all have challenges we have to face in our lives. But in the end, it'll be very rewarding. I'll graduate with a bachelor's, and in Spike's case, he gains his new pair of wings. I love how they did the reveal. The stone forming around him, the silence, the glowing. It was spectacular. Plus, the little segment on how Spike was trying to learn how to fly was just so darn adorable. Reminded me of the segment of Bambi learning how to walk for the first time. It was just too darn cute. And it was pretty funny too. The only thing I don't really agree with is how quickly he learns to do those acrobatic stunts around the rock. You just got your wings, Spike, and now you're flying around like a Wonderbolt. But hey, you can only do so much in a 20 to 25 minute episode. So, I'm not too bothered by it. By the end, Twilight tells him even though he may be going through these changes, that doesn't mean it will change who he is to them. He will always be the same Spike everyone loves and cares about. And that pretty much sums up Molt Down. Overall, I really loved this episode. I liked how the writers tackled the idea of growing up and life changes within the episode. It's going to be scary, but as long as you have the people around you who love you for you, then that support will help fuel you to overcome the challenges life throws at you. For Spike, it's learning how to cope with growing up. And for myself, it's to overcome those challenges my schooling has for me. And also dealing with the stench before I pass out. I am Aria Diamond. Let's keep the love pure, friendship strong, and the air stench